Hi, second graders, it's Mrs. Burke here, and I'm so proud of all the work you've been doing with your 3-digit numbers. You've been subtracting them and adding them like champions. So today I thought it would be nice to just do a quick overview of all the different strategies that you've learned for addition and subtraction. So this video is going to focus on subtraction strategies. So we're going to review 4 of them, and we're going to solve the same equation 4 different ways, so you can practice the different methods. And when the video is over, I'm also going to post a little reference sheet that you can use that'll just remind you of the different strategies. So we are going to use the equation 351 minus 239. And the first way we're going to subtract these numbers is using the traditional method, which is also referred to as standard. So to start, I'm going to pay very close attention and make sure that I line up my digits in the correct place values. So 351, I have to make sure I put my 2 hundreds underneath the hundreds, my 3 tens, and my 9 ones. I'm even going to move that over a little bit better. 39. Okay, and now I'm going to subtract by starting with my smallest place value, which here is my ones. So I'm going to say to myself, big number on top, I don't need to stop. Big number on bottom, wait, I have a problem. And here I have my big number on the bottom. So I'm going to go next door and get 10 more. So I'm taking 1 10 away, so I have 4 tens. And there was 1 1 there. If I get 10 more, I now have 11 ones. And now I'm ready to subtract. 11 minus 9 is going to leave me with 2. I can just count up 9, 10, 11. 4 take away 3 is going to leave me with 1. And then 3 take away 2 will also leave me with 1. So my difference is 112. And now we're going to try the next strategy, and we should get the same difference since it's the same equation. So this is also, again, this is the traditional method. So now we're going to move on to number discs. So for our visual learners, this is always a favorite, number discs. Okay, now number discs is similar to when we use them in addition, it's similar to subtraction, but there's one really big difference. First, we'll always start by putting our place values, hundreds, tens, and ones, and sectioning them off. Now, my equation, I'll write it in the corner, 351 minus 239. With addition, we model both numbers with our number discs, but in subtraction, the big difference is you're only modeling the first number, 351. So in the number 351, I have 3 hundreds, 5 tens, and I always like to set it up like a 10 frame, and 1 1. Okay, so when it comes to subtraction, as always, you start with your smallest place value, and it wants me to take away 9 ones. I don't have 9 ones, so I'm going to go next door and get 10 more. So I'm going to take this one and regroup him into a 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I always get 10 more, always. So now I'm ready to subtract 9. So I'm going to take from here first, 1, and then I'll take from the back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I can clearly see, because it's set up in a nice orderly 10 frame, that I have 2 remaining. So there's still 2 ones. Now I'm going to move on to my tens place, and they want me to take away 3 tens. This does not count as one of my tens that I'm taking away because this 10 was not subtracted, it was just regrouped. So I need to take away 3 tens. 1, 2, 3, and I'm left with 1 10. And finally, I'm going to subtract 2 hundreds. 1, 2, and I'm left with 100. So again, 351 minus 239 equals 112. All right, now moving on to the arrow method. And for the arrow method, you decide what you want to take away, what chunks you want to take away. So there's many different variations of this. Maybe I'll do 2 samples for you just so you can see 2 different ways. So I'm starting with my number 351. And remember the equation, 351 minus 239. So first I'm going to take away from my hundreds. So I'm going to do a jump back of 200. 351 minus 200. If I take 2 hundreds away from 351, I'm left with 151. Now I want to take away 30. So I'm going to write minus 30. And that will leave me with 121. And now I need to take away 9. Some of you could do it this way. Minus 9, and you might say that, all right, 121 minus 10 would be 111, so minus 9 would leave me with 112. If you're not quite able to take away that jump of 9, I'm going to do another example down here, which might be more efficient for you. So I'll start again with 351, and now maybe I want to take away my ones first. You can take away from any part of that number. So instead of taking away 9 ones, I'm going to get myself to a nice, easy 350. I'm going to take this 1 away because it's harder to subtract with it. So now I'm at a nice, even 350. So watch. Now from 350, I still have 8 ones that I still need to get the 9 ones. So let me take away 8 now. And that's going to leave me at 342. Now I'm going to take away my 10s. Minus 30. 342 minus 30. 312. Then 312. Now I need to take away my hundreds. Minus 200 will leave me with 112. So there's many different variations. You just have to make sure when you're finished that you took away 239, the correct amount. So here, 230, 38, 39. Okay? And now for our final method that we'll review. This is known as compensation. This one is not as often used, but I do think for some of us it's an effective method, so let's practice it. So again, it's 351 minus 239. 351 is my larger number, so I'm going to make that bar my large bar, and then I'm going to take away 239. So I'm going to write those numbers in my bars. Now I want to bring this 239 to a nice friendly number. So I could bring it to 240 by adding 1, but I know that I could even bring it to 250 by adding a 1 and then a 10, which would be 11. So I'm going to try that. Add 11. Now if I'm adding 11 to this to bring it to a friendly 250, I have to compensate by adding 11 to this number. 350 plus 10, 51 plus 10 is 361. So plus 11 would be 362. So I have my new numbers now that I'm going to be subtracting. So I have 362 minus 250. And 2 minus 0 will leave me with the 2. 6 minus 5 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. So this still brings me to that 112. So those are the subtraction strategies that you should be most familiar with. That would be traditional, number discs, the arrow method, and compensation. And in our next video, we'll go over some addition strategies that you can practice and become a little more comfortable and familiar with, okay? But usually everybody has a favorite strategy. So mine is the number discs because I'm a very visual learner, but you might have a different one. So here's the reference sheet I'm going to be attaching as well. So you can print this out at home and maybe keep it next to you as you do your math work this unit. And you're working so hard and I couldn't be prouder of you. Okay, have a great day, Stuart.